Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Power Slap. They signed the biggest name in the history of the organization. Paige VanZant. Well, that's what they're saying, right? A former top UFC prospect, a boxer, bare knuckle boxer. She's done a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most recently, she fought former porn star.
The
Elle
L.
Bare
Brooke.
knuckle?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was just straight up like celebrity boxing style or
shit.
just boxing, right?
I think
okay.
they're
And,
gonna rematch as well, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have a rematch, but
Damn,
yeah,
okay.
she lost that fight. Elle
Oh,
dropped
wow.
her. Yeah, so
Got dropped by a porn star.
yeah, so like this is like a report, you know, out there that she's going to be part of Power Slap now. So she kind of returns back to the UFC in a way because it's all intertwined.
Yeah,
UFC, Power Slap.
Yeah.
What else? Dana White Contender Series.
True.
The Ultimate Fighter. These are all kind of under the same umbrella, right? Because
Right.
Dana White is the leader of everything.
Yeah.
That combat
Right.
sports
He's the
empire.
controller.
Yeah.
He is the president of mixed martial arts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
is he the dictator? In a way, it is, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not like no one could push him out.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Right? And
He's
he's the
the-
face of the sport. Like, he's bigger than Conor McGregor.
He's the
He's
King
bigger
Jordan
than
all of
of
them.
fucking.
You could
Jong-un
argue
of
all day
MMA.
that Conor is bigger, but no. Dana White has been around much longer.
Right. Yeah.
And whenever whenever there's an event, most people want to be next to Dana White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
So
And you get the impression that he's earned it too, because like he was, in the trenches, just taking all those risks really, really early on, where like they were in the negatives and failing for years, right? And then comes back and like starts shooting up, starts making money,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then now we're all here being like, damn, Dana makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
Oh, Dana makes crazy money, dude. He's talking about losing $6 million in one night in the casino. Like,
True.
if you're losing $6 million, it's normal. It's just you're probably winning like $30 million.
Imagine how much you get tipped as like his dealer
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You're probably like
Wow.
coming away with 4 figures
Yeah.
in an
Yeah, that'd
evening.
I'll be
That'd be
clipping his
nice.
toenails.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, like you guys,
Bowing.
I'll clip your toenails.
yeah.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? I collect those, sell them on eBay.
Yeah.
He's famous enough.
Someone will buy them.
He's probably pretty happy that Paige VanZant's kind of back in the
Yeah,
UFC
yeah. Why not?
region because she could make them a lot of money, right?
Draws eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess it's breaking news. They announced it on the UFC broadcast that Paige VanZant will debut in Power Slap next Friday or this Friday. Power Slap 8, right? So now, a lot of people are, attacking her. One Twitter user said the fall off will be studied.
Ooh.
No amount of money is worth your dignity. Another fan said she's going to get flatlined.
In Power Slap.
Yeah, so not a really positive response, but
Ooh.
MMA Roasted. Do you know who MMA Roasted is?
That name
It's
sounds...
a comedian,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
The comedian, he used to wrestle. He coaches wrestling. He's a pretty well-known comedian. I forgot his name. But he wrote, Paige VanZant signed with Power Slap. This is also what everyone does who subscribes to our OnlyFans. This dude has he's instant with these things. Like
Yeah.
everything that comes out, he's roasting
Really?
them, right? So he's
Damn.
MMA Roasted.
Right.
You know?
Right. He's a
Another
roaster.
user was like, I like Paige VanZant. I've respected her hustle, but man, doing Power Slap, why Paige? So there, it's pretty much, okay, let's start with you because you're a female,
Okay.
a woman,
Yes.
in her stages of
Confirmed.
life.
Yeah.
Is Power Slap the lowest you could go?
I mean, it's pretty low. I would say like selling your naked body on the internet would be probably the lowest you could go. But if it's a ways to make money, like I support it. The only thing that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way about Paige VanZant is where in the beginning, I think it was when she was still signed to the UFC, she was like, I would never do OnlyFans. I would never do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wouldn't want to sell my body for that. And now she's completely flipped and like, she's just fine with doing that. And honestly, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Like, I support if she wants to make money in that way, by all means. But to say one thing and then go the other route, that kind of like I was iffy about. But yeah, sure, if you want to do the power slap, go for it. I wouldn't call it the lowest though. I'm sure there's many other lower ways that you can be,
of course.
making money. But maybe in the martial arts scene, yeah, power slap. I wouldn't really consider it a martial art.
Dignity. That's another word that comes out, right? Dignity.
Right.
Like, is it dignified? Well, fighting is not really dignified.
No.
Let's just keep it real,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Fighting is fighting. You're
Yeah.
trying to crush someone's face and decapitate them without actually decapitating them, right? So like dignified. I don't know. To be honest, Paige VanZant. We're all hypocrites, man. I've probably said stuff last year or last week that I've said the opposite this week, right?
That's
I've
fair.
probably done things in the past. I know I've done things in the past and said things in the past that is the opposite of what I think right now, and something that probably I'm doing. I've said something in the past and I'm doing the opposite now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
everybody's a
things
hypocrite.
change,
Right.
for
So
sure.
things change for people. You know what I mean? Your position in life changes. Your perspective changes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are attacking her. I don't know if you'd be attacking her. You know what I mean? She's debuting on Power Slap, and there's a reason why they want her
Yeah.
to be on Power Slap.
Oh yeah, she'll make that
Yes.
company some serious money for sure.
Yeah, because I don't really watch Power Slap. But I've seen clips and stuff here and there, and it doesn't seem like many of the females are like very good looking. Let's say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, do
Right.
you need to have the poster? There's no really like when you think of Power Slap, do you think like, yo, you only know Dana White. You don't really know any of the other people on Power Slap. Like, you cannot point them out. You don't
No.
know their names. Paige VanZant.
It's the first like name that you'd recognize on like a roster.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
for
Her
sure.
face you put on a poster. Now Power Slap kind of has like a new
A new
Avenue
face.
of fans,
shot?
maybe.
Yeah. Right.
What do
Yeah.
you think? The idiots are coming out?
Because they've got like a recognizable, face,
Yeah.
if nothing else.
Yeah.
Right. So then, like, if they put out a Power Slap poster with Paige's face on it, like along with a list of other people you might not necessarily recognize, at least you're like, oh, I can tune in and there's somebody I know there, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and she's attractive, so sex sells for sure.
Yeah. And then, in the fight game too, at the end of the day, like there is a part of us that we are entertainers in that sense,
Yeah.
where it's not just winning the fight that sells the views and the clicks and all of that, but sometimes it's how you win. It's how you kind of like
Present yourself as well, like
Yeah.
what kind of character you portray and stuff
right,
like that,
right.
right?
It's kind of like how you captivate the audience in some shape or form, whether
Yeah.
that's through how good you look, like physically, or how well you fight in some
Yeah.
cases, or somewhere in between,
Yeah.
or like how well you talk shit in some cases
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Everyone has their thing, whether it's like an outlandish personality or big fake tits.
Yes.
Yeah. John's
Whatever.
coming back
I'm
with
swinging them.
John's coming back with implants next week.
Exactly. I'm swinging them right now.
Just
back and
imagine the
forth. Can
power
you hear
slap
those?
in slow mo.
Can you
I
hear
think
those?
Right?
I'm sure that's
Are
part
they
of
gonna
what they're
alter
going
the
for.
tops? Are they altering the tops? You think for this event?
They're just gonna do like a slow mo camera, and then like Paige's one's just gonna like zoom down towards the
More slow mo.
Yeah.
Like slow
Here's your
mo.
uniform. It's these two stickers.
Exactly.
If the stickers fly off, hey, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Something's
yeah.
going
It's not our
viral.
Yeah.
fault, you know what I mean? But,
Free the
you know,
nipple.
I give a lot of respect to Paige VanZant because she was thrown into the spotlight when her skill set wasn't ready to be in the
Yeah.
spotlight.
Yeah.
And she had to fight a lot of girls that probably were much more advanced than her. She didn't do terrible, you know what I mean? Of course, some of her fights were not very good, but then she had some moments in there, like when she did that switch kick knockout on Beck Rawling, who's also like one of the main like bare knuckle fighters,
Yeah.
women fighters in the world, right? One of the best, and she switch kick faced her and knocked her out
Yeah.
in the UFC.
Yeah.
And then she went to BKFC. She's done things like most girls would never do. Like you would think like, hey, you know, she's like a pretty little girl, you know, whatever, blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh, go fight BKFC. bare knuckle boxing. Most girls wouldn't do that. Like, how many OnlyFans girls? There's what, I don't even know how many like OnlyFans girls there are out there, and let's say the top 5%, the ones that make money, like a Paige VanZant, like the girl that she boxed, Elle Brooks, like those girls, they're making huge amounts of money. How many of those girls would actually go and bare knuckle fight?
Yeah, very few.
Yeah, very few, right?
Yeah, that takes guts.
It does take guts, right? Because you know you're gonna take huge damage, right?
Yeah.
Even sparring in like, let's say the 10-ounce gloves, right? And you're throwing hard, that hurts.
It does.
It hurts a lot. And now you go bare knuckle with bone to bone. That's even worse. Like, you don't know what kind of damage. Like, imagine getting a pure knuckle in your eye.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, into your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it feels so bad that you think you got poked in the eye, right?
Yeah.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah, even the one doing the punching gets hurt at like the end of the fights too. I was watching, I don't know why I was watching bare knuckle like years ago. It was back when we were all on like Soy Tat Yen and stuff. And I was like, you know, because they'd show the walking off right after the finish. And you could see pretty much every single fighter, even the ones that won afterwards, were like, you know, just kind of like doing this to like their wrist. It's like, oh, like that looked like it hurt kind of thing.
And you can see over time, like the swelling on their hands starts to like build up. I can't imagine getting out of that fight and not breaking one of your hands.
Yeah,
right?
or breaking your
Like, I
wrist or your
think,
thumb.
Right,
Especially your thumb, right?
Yeah, there's so many little joints.
I always hurt my thumb sparring.
Yeah.
I do. Like, sometimes I wrap my hands wrong.
Yeah,
Or
same.
it's like you know, it's like mistakes you
So
make,
just like,
right? You're just in a hurry. Sometimes you're late, or like, I wrap my hands real quick and then get out there, right? And then you wrap them too tight, or like everything else is wrapped properly, but your thumb isn't.
Right.
Like, I've done that many times, and then next you know you're like practicing your sparring or something, and then you're like, boom, you're like, oh man, that doesn't feel good, you know? Because whenever fighters like they say they broke their thumb, after you spar a bunch of times, you understand how they broke their thumb. It just happens. Like especially when you're like looping shots, right? And you're kind of like your thumb is kind of leading the dance.
Yeah.
And next you know, one shot is like, imagine you're like looping, and then next you know, it's over.
Yeah,
Right? Anyways,
it's so fragile.
definitely fragile. But yeah, Paige going to Power Slap. She's diversifying her portfolio. That's the way I look at it.
And she's getting different like viewership people, right?
Yeah.
Which like if she sells an OnlyFans, that's kind of a fresh and smart way to do it, to be honest.
You're right.
Right? Because if it all funnels into her OnlyFans, then like, okay, great. Then
Exactly.
you're getting
Like-
different people that would not otherwise like have seen her or subscribe.
Yeah, and like I think she's, like I said, diversifying her portfolio by going to all these different audiences, right? Because Power Slap, I don't know what kind of audience Power Slap has, but it's probably not the
Either,
same
honestly,
audience
yeah.
as BKFC or,
Right.
you know, it might bleed into each other, but I'm pretty sure it's a little bit separate. Like Power Slap is, I think, something that you turn on in a bar. You don't have to know none of their names. You don't have to know any, like, you don't have to know their background. You just have to be able to just understand that they're slapping each other.
Right.
And whoever knocks the other guy out, the
Right.
girl out, they win.
That's
it's
true.
straight up like a bar.
It's
like that's
very
when
basic.
That's true.
yeah, like if you go to a bar, dudes are drinking and they're hammered.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're like screaming for dudes.
Hell yeah.
They don't know it, but they just know the rules.
Yeah,
instantly.
I've got friends where I'm like, I got $20 on this guy. You want to take this bet? Like, you know, if we're just watching something in the screen in front, and like that does make whatever we're watching more entertaining. Because now we've got like a little bit of skin in the game, even if
Yeah.
the fight itself is not entertaining or doesn't have much like martial arts value to
Right.
begin with. The fact that like we're here at a bar, I'm talking shit with my friend. And then like, all right, this is part of the entertainment that we're here for today. Just that alone is enough to be like, okay, now it's a good time.
Yeah, it makes it a little more interactive, right?
Yeah.
A little more exciting.
We live in a world now where attention spans are so small or low. Attention span is so low, right? To
Yeah.
where like, you want something that you don't need to know too much about, but
Right.
you can understand easily.
Yeah.
And then enjoy it at the same time, right? I think that's what Power Slap is. I
Yeah.
think when Dana White's talking about, there's interest in, it's not about like super fans and all that shit. It's about just like people turning it on. And imagine having Power Slap on in every bar. And it's like, it goes beyond language.
Yeah.
It does. It goes beyond because you're slapping each
How
other.
beautiful.
Right? So you could be on every bar, let's say in every country somewhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's super
Yeah.
international friendly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very intuitive, right? It's like, oh, now there's two good-looking women just
Yeah.
slapping the shit out of each
Yeah.
other, right? Like
Yeah.
taking turns slapping
Exactly.
It's
the
a
shit.
smart move, to be
Exactly.
honest.
You don't have to follow any specific fighter in that league. You know,
Right.
you can literally just watch it and just enjoy it for what it is.
And Paige is like, hey, I could get that demographic internationally. And my OnlyFans would even blow up even more.
100%.
If I had OnlyFans, I would do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, because if you have an OnlyFans, your objective is to get as many eyeballs as possible onto
Yeah.
like, your page.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it makes sense.
she's probably swimming in dough.
She probably is, and she's, you know, when they say like a fighter's career is a small window, it's very true, right? And she's taking advantage of that window. She's
Yeah.
actually making the window bigger
Yeah.
than it originally was.
Right, right.
She's renovating the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cashing in big time and
Yeah.
building when she needs to be building, you know, career-wise.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's like one of these girls that look like they're like aging ungracefully.
Right.
Like she's getting older. She actually looks better than she did when she was younger. She kind of
Yeah.
had that like teeny pop look for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
And now she's like this woman,
She's
super
a grown
thick.
woman.
Yeah, like she's got her little thing hanging.
Yeah,
Distinguished.
grown.
Yeah, she's grown into a
GMO,
woman.
more like.
She's grown into corn fed, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, like she's gonna cash in.
Yeah.
And or cash out, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And much respect to her.
Yeah,
you know
honestly,
what I mean?
more power to her for
And
sure.
you know, man, and I'm pretty sure she's been dealing with hate from the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
not a big thing for her. I feel like
Probably
she's probably
helps
like
her.
Teflon with it, right? She's just like she don't even pay attention, you know. And I think she had a back and forth with like Dylan Dennis not too long ago.
I
And
believe
she
it.
crushed Dylan Dennis with her response,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She's not dumb either. Like
Right.
you could tell she's, you know, she loves fighting in every aspect of it. And let's see what happens with it. Maybe she's the one that catapults
Yeah, who
power side.
knows?
Who knows? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You never in fighting. You never expect. You know what I mean? What happens next?
Right.
Yeah.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to blow up sometimes.
If you don't know now, you know.